It's a very simple technique to demolish any habit. A habit is automatic. That's what makes it a habit. That's why we love habits. Why is everyone so obsessed with habits? Because if it's a habit, then it happens automatically. If it's a habit, I don't have to work hard. I want to program myself so I can be lazy. So all you need to do to demolish a habit is awareness. Because literally, the circuits involved in your brain are completely different. You cannot have a habit and exert willpower at the same time. That's the whole point of a habit. So as you become aware, every time you catch it, Stephen, it will chip away at it. It'll get cut away 1%, 1%, 1% until it disappears. Catch it as many times as you can.
Is this in part why it's useful to keep a diary? Or to write sort of...
It can be. Diaries have all kinds of other mechanisms. So just a couple of quick ones. So one is that diaries slow down the pace of your thinking, because when you write slower than you think. So you meditate on the thoughts a little bit more. The second thing is that when we think in our head, we're using some circuits of the brain, but when we write, we are activating our sensory inputs. And our capacity to learn from our sensory inputs versus thinking is actually way higher. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like activating a completely different part of the brain. We're slowing down our thoughts. So slowing down thought and activating our sensory inputs is part of why a diary is useful. The third thing with a diary being useful is that when we think in our mind, we end up in a different place from when we write. So it's a lot easier in our mind to end up with habitual patterns of thinking. In a diary, it's way harder to end up with habitual thinking. So you will explore yourself more effectively using a diary.